also for 101 Small Business Mastermind. And with us today, we got a nice group. Say good morning, Dick.
Good morning, Dick.
Good morning, Dick.
Say good morning, Frank. There you go.
Good morning, Dick, yeah.
And Phil. Say good morning,
Howdy.
Phil.
Morning, Phil.
All the way from Chicago. Okay. We'll kick it off with me. I got scammed, and I want to talk about it. And well, I almost got scammed, but it was extremely clever how they put this scam together. I was at the computer repair store visiting, and they said, oh, they got an email for someone who wants a website. So I went off and got home, and they sent me the email, and I engaged them right away. And basically, I can share that email, or one of them anyway. Let me know when you guys got this.
Got it.
Okay. So basically, they wanted to know a few things. First off, did I take credit cards? Was I the owner? They put in their budget and stuff. They wanted to know my cell phone number. Am I the owner, like I said? And I shared this with Dick, too, and it's an awful lot of misspellings, which is usually telltale, you know. But it was sent from their smartphone, BlackBerry 10 smartphone. Well, so I ended up answering this particular email. Oh, by the way, they wanted a site like this. Now let me share that. And I mean, any webmaster is going to go crazy. This is the site that they want. Okay. How horrible is that, Phil? It's terrible. Whoops, there's a nude. Sorry.
Well, you can put a computer inside of a chicken coop and get that made.
Exactly. And so I'm thinking, wow, this is what they want to share? That's crazy. So they want the same number of pages. So I looked up all this stuff and asked them, are they going to be selling stuff on there? So we do a WooCommerce. And so it got very technical. And they're batting right along with me. And then finally, what they said the budget's between 5 and 10. I went at 8.2, thinking this is great, and they came back and said, super, like the price. Here's what we got to do. She needs a favor from me, that she's going to give me her credit card. First off, she said she's in the hospital to have surgery. Second, she's the content generator and the logo guy doesn't take credit cards, which has been the major problem for her. So she asked me if she can give me her credit card number. We put $6,100 on that card, $100 for my effort. That's where the $100 comes from. She says you take $3,000 for a down payment on getting started immediately, and send $3,000 from your bank account into his account as a transfer. Well, I thought about that for a second. I said, this doesn't sound right to me, you know? And then I got thinking, well, it's even worse than that. I would have had her go through PayPal with her card, and then, for whatever reason, she could obviously say, oh, it was fraudulent. The credit card company gives her money back, right? And PayPal snags $6,100 for me right out of my account. Et cetera, and I'd be the one out $3,000 ultimately with nothing. And I almost took it. But I know I got down to the point where I'm saying, well, where's the scam part of this? You know, this isn't, well, she's over a barrel, so to speak, you know, me and my big heart. So basically, it's a scam that was pointed directly at webmasters only. It was brilliant. Had every component that a webmaster would get engaged with. It was crazy. It was crazy good. And so I told her I couldn't do that. I'm willing to take her credit card number and deposit $3,000, and we can get started. Never heard back from them.
Yeah.
Any comments, guys?
Yeah. Well, I have one, Peter, because you sent me that email. Said, "What do you think?" And so I started reading the whole trail of emails. and it just amazes me that people that are brilliant enough to come up with these scams aren't brilliant enough to be able to, just capitalize I, but it's there rather than lowercase and the spelling and the grammar. I have to look at it. I sent back to Peter. I said, "Are you sure this is real?" And he immediately said, "No, it's a scam." But they just tip you off. And I guess because we've talked, so much about scams in our Senior Scams podcast, that our radar is up all the time. And it just was, reading her responses, I thought, wow, this can't be real. And sure enough, it wasn't real. But it shows if you can get, someone like Peter, who pretty savvy, to almost bite,
That close.
Think about biting. Man, there's a lot of webmasters out there who are getting taken for the cleaners.
That's correct. And wow, it was. I wished I had a whole list of webmasters, that I could send this out to, but I don't.
Yeah.
So.
The website that they gave you, was a sample or the current website? Where was that supposed company located? Was there a contact address and everything and telephone number?
You mean on their email?
No, the website. You showed the current website.
No, that's not their current website. It's a website that they wanted a similar business.
Right.
Yeah, okay, so let's take that one. If there's a contact there and a telephone number and you call them, I wonder if they know they're being used as part of a scam.
Well, that's a good point. I don't know.
If they know, then they're complicit, and if they don't know, then they're being, their reputation is getting shot.
Or what is maybe more likely is they built that phony website for referral.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but if the address and telephone number is for a current business,
if there is such a thing, my thought is that there's no such business or phone number.
Okay.
That they just put it up there, hoping that
it looks real, Dick.
Yeah.
It looks real. I mean, there is an email there, and there's a telephone number for sure.
Well, is it U.S. or is it foreign?
No, it's in Toronto.
Oh, Canadian. Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, they even go through so far here, in this website that $100 U.S. Buys you approximately $127 worth of Canadian goods and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty legit. But that's a good point. When we get off the air, I think I will send them an email or call them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
okay.
I don't know what good it does them, but they're probably getting lots of traffic.
Yeah.
And they're not having to pay for it.
True.
So not qualified, but all right. That's what I got for my very short time here, because we got a lot to go on here, and then I think it may be.
It is that time. That's this week's twin.
All right.
This week in the news headlines that we can all get from what's happening in the newspaper. This week's twins headline is, "Hey, TK. Thank you for the small business lesson." And the question always is, who the heck is TK? Well, TK is now 39 years old, and he was born in Los Angeles to a civil engineer father and a newspaper ad sales mother. So he had the engineering and the sales influence in as a child. As a child, TK, I thought of you, Peter. He wanted to be a spy. That was his thing. He said he wanted to be a spy, but his natural confidence and his mother's influence made him better suited for a career in sales, just like his mother. And when he was 18, before, his first sales job was going door to door in his neighborhood, selling. You guys remember Cutco, C-U-T-C-O, Cutco knives? He was selling knives to his neighbors as a teenager. And at 18, he started his first business. This is a high school kid. And his first business was an SAT prep tutoring service, and he called it New Way Academy. And listen how his mind worked. The product he sold, he created it and he sold was $1,500 and over. how to get a higher SAT score. I call that brilliant marketing. Well, TK was a chronic hustler, and his friend said his game face was always on, and really it turned him off. And one classmate says, you know, about TK, he was always trying to sell me something, and it was a turnoff. Another classmate described TK as an excellent storyteller, driven and opportunistic. Well, TK took his talents from high school and went to UCLA as a computer science major. But so many of the stories I talk about, TK dropped out of UCLA before he graduated to start his own company. So you would think TK would be wildly successful. No, he was not. TK was not infallible. The first company he founded was a company called Scour, S-C-O-U-R. It was the first popular peer-to-peer search engine for files, videos, and music, which was the big thing in images. That company filed Chapter 11, not too long. He then founded a networking software company called Red Swoosh. Interesting name, similar to, I guess, the Nike logo. And they ran into difficulty as well, but they were good enough that Microsoft was interested in buying Red Swoosh. So they flew a bunch of executives from Redmond down to LA to meet with TK. And Microsoft says, tell you what, we will offer you $1.2 million for your company. And TK got insulted. He stood up in a conference room, berated the hell out of him, and threw them out for the lowball offer and says, get out. Well, that may not have been the brightest idea. TK suffered for a few more bad years. He had to move in back to his parents' home. He went without a salary for more than 3 years. He had to turn over his staff. Still waiting that he thought his company was worth a lot more than $1.2 million. Well, son of a gun, in 2007, a company called Akamai agreed to acquire Red Swoosh for $23 million. Not a bad payoff. All this leading up to a life-changing event for TK in 2008. TK was invited to a tech conference being hosted by Gary Vaynerchuk up there in Silicon Valley, and there he met the founder of Garrett Camp, who was the founder of StumbleUpon. We know about StumbleUpon. And they were hanging out one night after the conference, and Camp was complaining how he and a few friends, it cost him $800 to hire a private driver for them to go around from party to party and bar to bar. And he says, you know what? There are so many high-powered executives in Silicon Valley. He says there's got to be a better way to bring down the cost of black car services for these high-paying executives. And that idea spawned a company we now call Uber. Uber. And as they say, the rest is history. TK's name is Travis Kalanick. Even though he was not Camp, the guy who came up with the idea, they liked TK's status and they made him the CEO. Today, Travis Kalanick is worth more than $6 billion. Not bad for a college dropout. Not bad. Who told Microsoft to get the hell out of my office? You're insulting me with what $1.2 million offer. So I love stories like this, guys who turn stuff around. Well, so I came up with two business lessons, small business lessons that I got from Travis Kalanick. And I think they're two that every small business owner can use in one way or another. The first one that Travis says, he says, do one thing, but do it really, really well. And when you've got that mastered, then do the next thing. Do one thing really, really well, master that, and then do the next thing. How many small business owners do we have? And I use this with Phil the other day. They're driving down a freeway, and they're trying to drive in 3 lanes at the same time. Each one being a different product, that type of thing, right? And what happens? You either get into an accident, you hit a guardrail, you flip over, you get off the road, and you crash. Travis says, stay in one lane, do it so well that you master it, and then go to another lane. But here's a second point that Travis pushes. He says, make whatever product or service that you're offering, make it habit forming. Make it something they say, whoa, I'm going to do whatever it is that we do. Because people have trouble giving up a habit. Two very interesting little tidbits, I call them gems, diamonds in the rough, that I think small business owners should at least consider. So my question to whoever is listening or watching, what can you learn from Travis Kalanick's success, except from dropping out of UCLA and going to a Gary Vaynerchuk party to meet the guy from StumbleUpon? But do something really, really well, and then the next thing, and try and make your product or service habit forming. And gentlemen, that's my twin for this week.
All right. Anybody got any questions on that?
Well, I have an Uber story.
I love Uber. I love Uber.
I have to go to the airport and fly out early in the morning in October, and so I said, let me just download the Uber app, see if I can get a quote, see how it compares to, the $60 a taxi cab will charge me. So I did it, and I got a quote, and it was actually a very good price. But the next thing you know, I'm looking at my app and I see this car on a map going down streets, and it will be at my house in 9 minutes. I said, I didn't know her. And so I spent the next 5 minutes trying to cancel this guy out, and I didn't know enough about the app. So the next thing I know, the guy, I get a text from the guy, I'm at the gate, can you let me in? And I said, listen, I am very sorry. I guess I've been trying to cancel this. I don't know how I ordered you. I want you in the future, not today. And then finally, the guy was very nice, and I said, I don't know what I did. So he kind of, walked me through how I should have canceled. No, I said, that's for the future. And so, I thanked him. He said, well, have a nice day. But that was my first experience with Uber. It's not their fault. It's my fault. I still don't know how I ordered them. But it's so funny. I'm sitting there looking at the app, and all of a sudden the map comes up, and it shows this car 2 blocks from where I live. It's really cool. It's really pretty cool. So.
You're braver than I am, Dick, because I'm afraid to download the Uber app and do what you did, because I'll push the wrong button. But let me tell you, when we talk about Travis saying make your product habit forming, well, he not only did that, he also created a verb like Xerox. When you and I were in the same office,
right.
Hey, go Xerox this for me, right?
Yeah.
Or go get me a Kleenex.
Yeah.
The brand name. And I'm busy. I do a lot of stuff on Twitter with the current election, and everybody has their own. I'm not trying to convince anybody to go vote for anybody. But I made a statement the other day to the people, a tweet to the people that I follow on TV, and I said, and I was complaining because they were berating Trump. Okay, it was Trump.
Yeah.
I said, and I was complaining. I said, you know what? Trump has Ubered this political campaign. And I used Ubered in quotes.
Yeah.
And I said, just like taxi drivers are protesting Uber, you guys are protesting Trump.
Yeah.
And I said, remember this, people want Uber and people want Trump. Live with it. And that was it. So anyway, so Uber has now become, to me, it's a verb.
Yeah.
It's a verb. Yeah.
No, it really is. As I thought about it after I downloaded it, we're a one-car family, and every once in a while we have a conflict of I've got an appointment, my wife wants to go somewhere, and sometimes we've even rented a car to solve it, or I'll stay home and whatever. And I was thinking, for the prices they charge, if she's going to go get her hair done or something, just have her call Uber and go to get it done and come back. It's very affordable. So I see.
You mentioned that the taxi driver. Now this is going to go to Ontario.
No, to
Palm Springs.
Palm Springs.
They're going to charge you $50 each way.
The taxi is like $55 plus your tip.
Right.
One way.
What was the Uber quote?
The Uber quote was $40.
And that included everything. There was no tip because there's no tipping on Uber.
Right. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. I didn't realize it was that.
It's dramatic. Yeah. So.
Okay. Love it. I love disruption.
The only negative I would find for what I wanted to use it for initially was you can't schedule ahead. Like I can't say the day before I'm going to the airport I want an Uber guy to be at my house at 4 in the morning. You have to, yeah. Then the guy who was at the back gate who helped me learn how to cancel things. I asked him, "How can I schedule you for a specific time and day?" He said, "No, it's all on demand." So I'd have to wake up at 2 in the morning and hopefully get an Uber guy awake or so. That's the only for that use. For other uses, that's not a problem. So.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Super.
Well, good. All right. I was so enthralled with that, I forgot my job here. All right. Next up, let's talk about Dick and your campaign. So you want to kick that off, Dick? And
yeah, I just on my iPhone got final revision number 95 back, and it's the way we want. So today I'll be sending out to 375 human resource benefits managers email addresses a video, 2.5 minute video that Peter helped me put together, and dazzled me once again with his knowledge and all. But and it's going to go to these people this afternoon as soon as I release it. And we've created an email and to kick it off. And there's a video. I don't know if you want to bring it up, Peter. That
I can't bring up the video, but I can bring up what we're sending
email?
out. Yeah. Here we go. Does everybody see that?
I see it. Yes. And
Frank, do you see it?
Yeah, but it's too small on my phone.
Yeah.
I can't read it. It's too small.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's as part of my Legal Shield portfolio, we have a benefits group benefits program where employers can offer employees Legal Shield with a slight discounted rate, and there's a survey that goes along with it that shows the legal needs of American families. So we've done the email, and the video's 2 minutes and 39 seconds, I think it's down to now. And I've sent it out to a few people, Jim at Perch, Frankie, and a friend of mine in Northern California, another friend here. And it was interesting, Peter and I looked at it, we thought, hey, we like this, it's good. And all three of them came back with that the intro was confusing, all three of them. And so we had to change the intro, and it's good to test the market and have people take a look at it. I sent it back out to them, and they all came back and said, oh, that's much better. So we got a much clearer, concise intro into the program. So I'm excited about it. Hopefully it works. It wasn't that much money to get to that many people all at once with a program that if I get 2 people out of 375 to sign up, the cost is so minimal, it's unbelievable. So I'm interested to see what happens. I should have some feedback by tomorrow morning because they do analytics and everything with it. So that's kind of it, Peter.
All right. That's using Reference USA like we talked about last week.
Right. Yeah.
And I was pretty surprised. They can either send it out or they'll sell you a list that you can send out to. But in this case, you're going to have them send it out, but you still get the list.
Yeah.
So that's really good.
I could have gotten 200 of these addresses for the same amount of money and sent it out myself, but I was, there's a lot of pitfalls with doing that. So plus you get more people. So I decided to go for them to manage it. They're going to send me a spreadsheet of all the people, and they're also going to let me know how many people have opened it, how long they watched it, what the interest levels are, and things like that. So it's pretty exciting.
So that's all good because we can refine the next run.
Right.
Further out, obviously, geographically, but what we will see with those stats, we'll be able to see where we're losing them, where we're getting them,
right.
Right. And again, how long they're staying. So somewhere in that video, we might have to change the video again to increase attention, or shorten the video. Hard to know.
I mean,
We won't know.
the important thing is this is an opt-in email list, so I'm not violating any spam rules or anything of that nature. And these people are human resource people that the subject line subject line is, are you interested in the legal needs of American families? So it should it's a real issue, and if people watch the survey, they'll see the video and see the survey, they'll see that there is a need. This is a definite need for their employees. So,
All right.
right.
Okay, next up on the deck, I guess, would be Phil. Phil's got a pretty exciting campaign going on. Phil, you want to talk about it?
Sure. Sure. We have it's all about using contests to attract qualified leads. Okay.
Okay.
And primarily using the media source Facebook to reach your Uber targeted. There's that word Uber, huh? Targeted prospect. So unlike sending postcards out or whatnot, or emails, let's say, you can hone in and really get in front of anyone. Like Dick, you can get in front of these people that you're trying to get a hold of on Facebook, these human resource directors or managers or what have you, as well. You can actually target them by business too, or how many employees and so forth, just using your case as an example. But we're using it to go after a very, very, very unique type of prospect for our client. All right, my client expressed interest in just going after the female gender from the age of 40 to 65. Okay, and we felt that the best way to do that is to put together a contest. Now, before we were able to put together a contest, we first needed to know what their margins were, right? So we put together some type of a financial model in place, and I'd like to share that really quick with you, just because I really truly feel that this financial model really needs to be done when anybody does any type of advertising, whether it be free advertising or paid advertising. And I can share my screen really quickly here, if Peter, you allow me to.
Oh, absolutely.
So here, just let me know when you can see it.
I got it.
Yeah.
Yep. So this is this financial model that I have in place. So say, for instance, these are just scenarios or hypotheticals, but it's a great way for anyone to see, either us as business owners, entrepreneurs, or when we're presenting to our clients, where for me, it's a great way to establish responsibility right from the first conversation. And for example, I do lead generation. So let me go through scenario one really quickly. Let's just say my client's ad budget is $1,500 a month, and we're doing something online, and we find out that our cost per click is $1.50. With that, we get 1,000 clicks. 10% of that would mean we have 100 leads, right? That line right here, basically, above the line is my job, all right? Beneath the line is my client's job, all right? I pass the baton being the leads, over to them. And as you can see, there's actually more responsibility put on them to whether or not they're going to make money or not, right? So this above the line is marketing, and below the line is sales. Can we all agree?
Mm-hmm.
So here, there's a lot of different factors that comes into play with my client. Now, we can take our own situations as marketers here and use this for our own purposes too. So beneath the line here, we have, how many people are we going to connect with? Well, let's say we connect with 30% of that 100. That means that we're making 30 connects. With that, we're going to book 20% of those. So our booked appointments are going to be 6. Our show up rate, or in our case, if we're doing things virtually or in person, our one-on-one meetings, let's say, are going to be 4. Okay, and out of those 4, we're going to close 25% of that. So that means we got 1 new patient in this case, or 1 new client. All right. So the one thing we need to establish here is what does that cost? what does it bring to our business, or what does it bring to our client's business for every new person we bring them? And so establishing what those margins are in advance can easily allow us to identify what it's going to take to make this campaign profitable. Okay, so with that being said, this is just a spreadsheet calculator that I've created. If you change any of these numbers, all of these different things will change as well. But let's just say, I did a 10% increase on my end. We're turning this into an additional $2,900 in margin. Now, on the sales side, what if I went from 20 to 30%? I'm able to add an additional margin of $5,900. So there's actually more benefit to really plug any holes in your sales funnel than really trying to find out, well, can I get more leads? Because in all of these scenarios, there really isn't a lead issue. There's a sales issue, right? There's a sales problem. So this helps identify opportunity, and if someone's tracking this along the way, it's going to help them identify where the holes are and where they need to make improvements in order so they can improve the profitability of their campaigns. So take a look at that really quick, and if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them here.
Excellent stuff. Excellent stuff.
All right. Thank you. So with that being said, with any business, typically, and Peter, hopefully you can agree or disagree with this statement, but someone should be willing to spend what their margin is to acquire a new lead, right? I mean, typically that if in this case, if my client is able to profit $3,000, she should be able to spend up to $3,000 to acquire a new lead, right? So obviously, anything lower than that is going to be a plus, right? So when we establish this margin or what we should pay per lead, we're really identifying what the ceiling is or the max of that lead of what we should pay for that lead is. All right. So moving forward here, I can show you what we've done as far as trying to generate leads. So, like I mentioned before, we're using Facebook, and here we put together an ad. We wanted, I told you before, we're going after women 45 to 65, and so when creating your ad, you want to make sure that the image speaks to the person that you're trying to target. So in this case, women 45 to 60, we chose the image of the woman that best fits that need. A bad example would be trying to use a woman that's 18 or 20 years old. There's really not going to be any identifier there for that person. And here, we just wanted to say, listen, let's enter a contest. If you need adult cosmetic braces. So here, obviously, people that are going to enter the contest, they're going to be in need of braces. So they're the people with crooked teeth. I mean, people with straight teeth are not going to enter this contest, right? So it really calls the person out, and it doesn't matter if you're giving away this or if you're, let's say, Dick, if you were giving away, I would say in your case, I would use a scenario, here we're giving away a free ebook that discusses XYZ about whatever it is you're trying to sell, and put a value of it of $9.99 or whatever, and attach maybe a $50 gift card at TGIF Fridays to it, to add a little bit more value to it. But here you're going to be building your list. People are going to be opting in. You're going to be getting names, emails, phone numbers, and with this list, you have the ability to also send them to a page where you can survey them to better qualify them. So let's just take this as an example. We click on the ad, and here we're taken to a
let me interrupt you. Let me just interrupt you. The clients or the listeners don't know that what you've got. You're doing this on Facebook.
Yeah, we just. I don't know if you saw this. This is a Facebook.
I saw it.
Oh, okay.
I saw it.
Sure.
It wasn't clear where this ad was going.
Yes.
Okay. So I just wanted to point that out.
Oh, great. And since we're on the Facebook topic here, the reason that we're using Facebook is that Facebook is by far the best platform ever in the history of advertising that you can actually target exactly the person that best fits your most ideal prospect. Unlike anything else, Facebook has so much information that they've collected about each Facebook profile, and they do this to provide it to advertisers like myself. And so we wanted to go after women 45 to 65 in 5 different zip codes. We wanted to target women that were professionals that made $75,000 a year or above and had a home value of over $150,000 or above. The reason that we did that is because we wanted to target people that, well, first met the age demographic, but also had some dispensable income that would allow them to, pay out of pocket for these, higher cost, higher valued treatments that my client is providing. So, promoting to a 21-year-old that's living in their parents' basement, or whatnot, that, trying to pay off their student debt wouldn't be the ideal demographic to go after because they don't have that dispensable income. So here with Facebook, you're really able to target based on anything you can think of. Anybody that has an interest, a like, a certain behavior, their age, where they live, how much they're worth, what they make, where they went to school, what they visited, where they shop, where they get their gas. I mean, the possibilities of targeting your ideal prospect are unending. So really good place to go and to really get your message out in front of those people. And you can do it quite inexpensively as well.
Okay.
All right. So here, to qualify and to get a little better of a lead here, we like to start the conversation before, you get that information. So one way to start the conversation and get a little bit more deeper in detail with your prospect is to just start surveying them, right? And again, a lot of business owners would probably hem and haw at the fact that, oh my gosh, I have to give something away for free. But you have to look at the it all comes down to advertising, and it's the investment of what it costs you to get your one client. And again, as we mentioned before, you need to establish what your margins are so you know what your ceiling is. So you should be willing to pay X amount of dollars to acquire one new lead, right? So we went over that right from the beginning. So if you're giving away something, it's highly recommended to never go above that ceiling, right? Because then you can't afford it. But remember, you're only giving away one to one person. In return, you don't have to give one away a day or one away to everyone. You can run a contest and announce the winner a year from now, right? So that whole time you're running a contest and you're collecting all this data, which you're going to go use and pick up the phone and call these people. And then put them into your email autoresponder and say, listen, in the meantime, while you're waiting for a winner to be announced, here we have the special offer for you. Or Dick, in your case, I would say, listen, while you're waiting for the winner to be announced, how about we get on the phone and talk about some of these answers that you supplied in the survey? Yeah. You said you were interested in this or this, and this is how you can use it for this. Let's talk about that. Yeah. So it gives you a really good. It really doesn't. It turns a cold call, a potential cold call, into a warm call, and that's important because when calls are warm, you'll have a better chance of selling your services versus if someone was cold. There's less of a process there. Would you all agree?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Beautiful. And then, the whole purpose of a cold call, getting them on the phone, is to warm them up, right? To get more information from them. Well, here, when you complete a survey, you have all that information. So so all you're doing is really looking like the hero here. You're contacting them because you have their best interests at mind, right? They share some information with you. You got to drill deeper into the right brain of them, and you're able to really pull out what it is that they're looking for from your service, right?
And of course, this is the dentist, of course, yes.
Right. And believe it or not, with a lot of these, here you have, do you have any missing teeth? All right, yes or no. And if they answer one way, they go to a different type of a form. If they answer no, they go to a different way. So not only are you setting someone up that's interested in a adult cosmetic braces package, but now these people are identifying themselves as perfect candidates for dental implants, which are it just raises that profit margin even higher, right? So this is extremely profitable for my client, and I really feel that it doesn't matter what you're able to pull out of this. I think that the first thing that you have to identify is what are your margins. If you have very tight margins, then you're kind of screwed no matter how you look at this, because it's always going to cost you more to advertise, right? So
if I can interrupt you just a second, do you mind sharing the numbers? I mean, this group had paid out another person some reasonable cash for 3 years and never got a single lead from you, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
They've got 7 qualified leads now.
Thus far, right? Mm-hmm.
Thus far.
Right. So let me refresh this here, and let's take a look at what's actually been spent to date. Now, we just kicked this off a couple days ago, and I know I'm sharing here, and it's probably going to be lagging. So give it some time. Have some patience here.
I'll call Comcast for you.
Thank you.
Or Roadrunner, whoever the Comcast, I guess.
Right. So here we've had 25 clicks to the survey form, right? So 25 people saw this ad, clicked on it, and out of that, 7 people said, listen, all right, let's give it a shot. I want a chance at winning, and I'm going to enter in my information, because that's usually what happens when you enter a contest. They ask you for information, right?
Right.
And here they have 7 leads. So if we're talking, if they're able to close, which they should, because when you're good at your job, you should be able to close a percentage of that, right? So if we went back to our financial thing here, and let's just say we change this number. I don't know if we can do this manually here.
I think you have to go to the show-ups because that equation had the show-ups in it.
Right. So, here, if they're able to sell all 7, they would be looking at 19,500 right there.
Right.
All right. And we're not even hitting this ad budget right now. All right. Let me just show you. We're getting our leads right now for $1.46, which is pretty much in line with what this financial model is. So the model is $1.50 per click, right?
Right.
We're not too far off.
No,
not at all. So 25 website clicks, and if you look at the financial model, all right, that's a damn good investment. And let's look this to date. So that's not here. Let's change this to what it actually is, all right, which is 3660. Boom. And out of here they got 7. I'm gonna just change this really quick, make it exact to what it is. Well, I guess I can't. I'm gonna screw up the calculator, but I think we get where it's going. They're able to get 7 out of here. And the bottom line is what matters now for this purpose here while we're on. But for $36.60 with these 7 leads, they have almost $20,000 worth of sales here that they have the opportunity to close. They should make damn well sure that they can close every single one of them. And even if they closed half of those, all right, if they closed 2 or 3, they would be at a profit.
Right.
Right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
how long is the contest running for?
They're actually going to choose a winner in January. So this is going to run every single month for the next 6 months or what? Oh no, shoot, we're well into the last quarter of the year. So
3 months, yeah.
Yeah, 3 more months. Imagine this has just been running for 2 days. You see here since September 15th.
Right.
They got a lot more time to go.
Yeah.
Which means they have a lot more leads to get.
Phil, will you change the ad monthly to keep it fresh?
Oh, I mean, the one thing that a lot of people make the biggest mistake on is that I believe in A/B testing, and as a marketer, we should. And we should always be testing and let the market decide which is working best. But right now, we are really kicking ass with this. I mean, where else could you go and spend $36.60
to get 7 qualified
$20,000 worth of opportunity?
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
Yeah.
I couldn't even go to the casino. It would, you know how fast $40, that's two $20 bills in a slot machine, and that's what, at $1 a pool, 20 pools. I couldn't even make that gambling. All right, and the reason that this is so important is because we were able to see this before we even started, and that's why I really feel that this worksheet, whether you're doing it for a client, Peter, whether you're doing it for yourself, Dick, it needs to be done so you can at least identify what that ceiling is.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't mind sharing with us that in an email, right?
No, sure, not a problem.
Yeah.
I think I screwed up the whole formula, but I'll have to go back and fix it here.
Oh yeah, send us the screwed up formula, Phil. That's
Yeah,
good.
That would be good, huh?
Yeah.
But for a dentist, this is priceless.
Very priceless, yes. And you're targeting people, you're targeting high dollar leads, right? So these leads have quite some value. They're not just your hygienist leads for coming in for, cleanings every 6 months. These aren't, these are top quality leads. Okay, and for 7 of them, they're paying, a little bit over $5 per lead right now.
Google's AdWords should be shaking in their boots about now.
Oh, do you know how much it would have cost them? First of all, they probably would have gotten maybe 300 clicks in a couple days, right? And at $46 a click, they would have been well over their budget.
Yeah, $4 to $6 per click. Yeah.
No, we're talking for implants.
Yeah.
Yep, it's around $30 to $46 a click.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, you have to understand how Google AdWords works. Google Ads, and we should all, and I've recently changed my business model because of this. Google AdWords, if you ever wondered how their algorithm for pricing works, is that their pricing is worked based on the value that lead can offer that advertiser.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so basically, as a marketer, as an advertiser, I've recently changed my business structure where, you know what, I'm not going to have a flat fee for every client. That's horseshit. I mean, I'm going to put together an abundance formula for my client and also for myself. And in my contract, we're going to set milestones. And so as my client's business grows based off of my efforts, so will my business grow. All right. And the only way that we can both grow is if we're bringing in more money to our businesses, right? So why on earth would I sit down and take $1,500 a month when every single month I'm making my client more profitable and more profitable? So now I'm restructuring my contracts to include that scalability for myself as well. So, and I pretty much price my services based on the value that I can bring my clients. And the more value I bring them, of course, if I can show them that for every dollar that they spend in advertising, I'm able to do my thing and set up my campaigns for them to where they're able to get $2 or $3 back in profit. I mean, the question is, and it's unfortunate because a lot of business owners will come back to me and say, well, listen, Phil, how can we spend 50 cents and still make $3? And that's not the client I want to work with. I want to work with the client that's like, all right, this is great. We're profitable. That's the holy grail of marketing, to break even, and we're making you profit. The question should be, how can we not cut our expenses, but how can you put more into this so you can scale it?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, I like that.
So that's kind of what I'm doing here, and I recently got involved with someone who's like, all right, listen, you presented really well. I like your milestones. I like where this is headed. Where's your bonus? And I said, well, I haven't included a bonus in here. And he said, well, why not? I said, well, I just didn't put a bonus in there. He's like, everybody needs a bonus. If you're doing this and you're making me more profitable, you deserve a bonus. He's like, you hit this milestone, I'll give you 5% equity in the company. I said, that's a great offer. And that's for a company that has incredible margins. I mean, for basically the guy makes about $2,900 profit off of every $15 he spends. Yeah. So there's a great incentive in there for me to do to hit these milestones, and we all dream about having that equitable position, and I nearly fell over when it was offered to me. But anyways, what questions do you have on this here? Let me just tell you, on the reach here, on this certain campaign, we've only reached not even 10% of our potential reach here. So this campaign has a long time to go, and keep in mind, they've set their budget at $20 per day.
Mm-hmm.
And as you can see, it's been running, this is the third day here. So just because you set a budget for $20 a day doesn't mean you'll reach it.
Mm-hmm.
But the minimum on Facebook is $5 a day. I like to go 20 because Facebook will show preference to your ad because they look at what you're willing to spend, and they're like, hey, this guy is willing to give us $20 a day. Facebook is looking at, well, I'm gonna show his ad over a guy that's only willing to spend $5 a day, and even so, that doesn't mean you're going to cap out at it. It just means that your ads are going to show more than your competitors. So it's a way to cunningly outspend your or outplace your competitor if you have anyone else bidding for the same reach as you do, and to get better results actually.
Interesting. Anybody have any questions on this? No?
No.
I mean, let's go really quick to placement here. So a lot of people always say, well, there's really not a lot of people that use mobile phones. In fact, you know what? I'm over 50 and I don't use mobile phones. Well, let's just look at the stats here. Here's our demographics, and here's the beautiful thing about Facebook. I mean, we can do just so much with this. If right now we know what age bracket is responding best to this ad. It's the 45 to 54-year-olds, and since we're only targeting women, these stats are only relevant towards our audience, which are women, right? So if we really wanted to squeeze more juice out of this campaign, we would run an additional campaign that only targeted what, Peter?
Women in the age of 45 to 54, it looks like.
You got it, exactly. And we would based on these statistics, we could drop off advertising on the news feed of desktop computers because only one person, came to this basically filled out a form from a desktop computer. Everyone else was from a mobile phone.
Yeah, that's astounding because I always talk about 65% of the people shop with their mobile phone. This would suggest a much higher number.
Here it's 96.
Yeah.
Right?
Jesus.
And so right now, the next optimization probably for this client of mine would be to create a ad demographic, just changing the age group and how they receive their ads.
Right.
And that would then optimize this to basically get us a lower cost per click as well.
And I guess that's in the works. You're going to do that for them?
In 2 weeks. I mean, it's still too new. What I like to see.
Some more data.
Some more higher reach. I mean, it's we have close to 10,000 people to get in front of. I would like to at least reach half of them before I make a change.
How do you know that you have Facebook tells you what your reach will be?
Yes, here. Let me go into audiences here. You can choose your own audience. And this we can save for an entirely different. My recommendation, it would have to be an entire podcast for this. But here I've created my audience, and as you can see here, it shows you the zip codes that we're going after. We're going after women that are interested in fitness and wellness, that have an income from $50,000 all the way up to $500,000 and over. Okay, we want to go after homeowners, right? Because those seem to be typically better buyers. We have our age underneath that, 40 to 60, and our gender female. And we want to go after English speaking because we are in Tucson. There's a lot of non-English speaking, and since this client of mine doesn't speak the other language, it would be pointless to drive her traffic of people that she couldn't even sell to.
Right.
So right here we have 7,000, an audience of 7,000. So when you go ahead and create your audience on Facebook, you can actually see the amount of people that you're going after.
Interesting.
And the rule of thumb is this, let's face it, not every Facebook user goes on Facebook every day. All right, especially in the older demographics, right? If you're older, you're not going to be glued, maybe once a week or twice a week, right? So a good realistic conservative number would be to realize that only about a third of that number is going to be online daily.
Okay.
Okay. So as you can see down here, I have some audiences here that are 1,800,000. Here, one that's 130 for different campaigns. This happens to be a local campaign, a very, very highly targeted campaign. So the smaller this number, in my opinion, the less you're going to pay. But you're really targeting the people. Like for example, if you had a pizza parlor and you just wanted to target people that ate pizzas, you can do that. So you're not targeting the entire city, right? Hoping to God that half of them just aren't vegetarians and don't eat bread. So
Right.
That's what Facebook can do for you here. I mean, and I think that one of these days we should really do a quick basic intro on how to really set up a Facebook campaign and get the most out of it.
I would love that.
And Dick, we can use you as an example and then follow up with you a week later, and you can share with us how many leads you got.
Sure, absolutely.
Use me too. Don't forget me.
Definitely. Well, I thought the podcast moderator admin is ineligible for testing.
No, that would be Frank.
There you go.
Yeah.
That sounds fair.
Yeah.
So again,
now, I have a friend. I've told you about this before, Phil. I have a friend that's a dentist.
Yes.
And this, I'm going to send them this podcast.
Well, great.
Yeah.
I think that there's. I think if you're going to have a conversation with them, a good thing to get them to, a good thing to identify with them would be to let's find out these numbers, right?
Right.
Because really, with any business, if you don't know your numbers, you're just running blind, man. You're shooting at a target you don't know where the hell it's at.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
most people, unfortunately, most people aren't good business people, or fortunately, however you want to look at that.
I'll raise my hand and I'll be the first to say on this on our panel that listen, I didn't know my numbers up until recently, okay, and now that I know them, I really, really have a good roadmap to get to where I need to be.
Good for you. All right. Any questions there? Anybody?
No.
Okay.
Good. Very good.
All right. Well, if we don't have any other questions, that was great, Phil, by the way.
Oh, hey, thanks. Sure. Thanks for having me.
That was awesome. If we don't have anything else, we're up at our time. Anything? Anybody?
No.
Good.
All right. Then say goodnight, Dick.
Good night, Dick.
Dick.
Hang on, guys.